Beyond the black horizon, where time has no meaning, the spacecraft drifted silently through the void. Its hull shimmered faintly under the distant glow of a dying star. Captain Liora Vale sat in the command chair, her hands resting lightly on the controls. Around her, the crew moved quietly, each lost in their own thoughts. Distance to the horizon? Liora asked, her voice calm but heavy with anticipation. Unknown, replied the navigator, a young woman named Rina. Our instruments can't measure past the black zone. It's like time itself bends there. The crew exchanged uneasy glances. The black horizon had been a mystery for generations. Ancient star charts marked it only with a warning, here, time has no meaning. Liora leaned forward, staring at the dark expanse ahead. It was more than just a void. It was a doorway to something beyond comprehension. A place where the past, present, and future might exist all at once, or perhaps not at all. Prepare for entry, Liora said. Her voice was steady, but inside, her heart raced. Crossing the horizon could mean the end of everything, or the beginning of something new. The engines hummed and then stilled as the ship edged closer. Instruments flickered. The air felt heavier, as if the darkness itself was pressing against the hull. Suddenly, a pulse of light rippled across the viewport. Colors that no eye had seen before danced in patterns that seemed alive. Liora felt a shiver run down her spine. Captain, Rina's voice trembled. I don't think we're moving in space anymore. It's different. Liora nodded slowly. No, Rina. We're moving in something else. Something beyond time. The ship passed the edge of the horizon. Instantly, everything changed. Clocks stopped. Conversations echoed backward. Memories of the crew's past lives, some forgotten, some vivid, flooded their minds. Liora saw her childhood, her training, and the faces of people she had never met, all at once. The ship felt both enormous and impossibly small. It floated in a realm that had no direction, no distance, no rules. We have to stay focused, Liora said. But her own voice sounded distant, like it belonged to someone else. A figure appeared on the bridge. It was neither human nor alien. Its form shimmered, as if made of light and shadow at the same time. What are you? Liora asked, though the words felt meaningless. I am the keeper of the horizon, the figure said. Its voice resonated inside their minds rather than through air. You have crossed into the place where time unravels. You will see everything and nothing, and you must choose what to become. The crew stared in awe. Some trembled, some wept, some laughed, but none could turn away. Liora's eyes met the keeper's. She felt as if the weight of infinite possibilities rested on her shoulders. Every choice she had ever made, and every choice she might make, was laid bare. Choose wisely, the keeper said, and then, as if swallowed by the darkness, it vanished. The bridge was silent. The crew looked at one another, uncertain if they were still alive, or if they had already become part of the black horizon. Liora took a deep breath. We move forward. Whatever this place is, we face it together. And so, the ship continued its drift into the black horizon, where time had no meaning, and where reality itself was waiting to be rewritten. The ship floated through the black horizon, but it no longer felt like space. Outside the viewport, shadows twisted and folded like liquid, forming shapes that seemed alive. Stars appeared and disappeared at random, some bright, some dark, some blinking like distant eyes. The crew gathered on the bridge, their faces pale, their eyes wide. No one spoke for long moments. Time, as they knew it, had completely lost its meaning. Captain, Rina said finally, her voice uncertain, I'm seeing fragments. Moments from the past, maybe from the future too. I can't tell which is real. Liora nodded. She, too, had visions flashing through her mind. Faces, places, and voices from lifetimes she had never lived, but somehow remembered. Each memory was vivid, yet fleeting, like smoke slipping through her fingers. We have to focus on the present, Liora said, though the word felt hollow. If we lose ourselves here, we might never find a way back. The ship creaked, though there were no engines running. Panels flickered, displaying coordinates that made no sense. They were numbers, letters, and symbols layered over each other, as if reality itself had become a puzzle. Suddenly, a corridor appeared on the bridge, not part of the ship, but part of the horizon. It stretched infinitely in both directions, glowing faintly with a silver light. I think we should explore it, said Kale, the ship's engineer. His voice was hesitant but curious. Maybe it leads to something that can explain this place. Lyra considered it. There was danger, of course. But the horizon was not a place where hesitation would keep them safe. Very well, she said. But we move together. No one goes alone. The crew stepped into the corridor. Immediately, the air felt different. Warmer, heavier, charged with a strange energy. Each step echoed as if through eternity. Shadows on the walls twisted into faces and landscapes, some familiar, some alien. Rina stopped suddenly. Look, she whispered. On the walls, a vision unfolded. A city of light floating over a black sea, towers reaching toward nothingness. People moved in slow motion, their faces filled with hope and fear at the same time. Are these our futures? Kale asked, his voice trembling. Maybe, Lyra said. Or maybe they are possibilities. The horizon shows what could be, and what never was. A sudden pulse of energy surged through the corridor. The crew stumbled, but no one fell. Their surroundings changed instantly. The city disappeared. In its place was a forest of crystal trees, glowing with inner fire. A river of liquid light flowed past them. This place, Rina said, her voice awestruck, it reacts to us. To our thoughts, our fears, our desires. Lyra's mind raced. If this is true, then we can't just explore, we have to understand ourselves. Our choices, our intentions, they shape this world. For the first time since entering the horizon, the crew felt a sense of purpose. They were not just drifting, they were part of the black horizon. Every thought, every feeling, every decision had weight here. But the horizon was not kind. Shadows gathered at the edges, dark and restless. They whispered doubts, regrets, and fears, trying to pull the crew apart. Lyra clenched her fists. No. We control this journey. Together. We face the horizon, no matter what it shows us. The corridor shifted again. This time, it split into multiple paths, each leading to a vision of a different world, a different reality. Lyra knew that the choices they made now would define what they became. And as they stepped forward into the unknown, the black horizon seemed to pulse with anticipation, as if it had been waiting for them all along. The crew moved cautiously along the shimmering corridor, each step echoing in the emptiness around them. Time had no rhythm here. Moments stretched, collapsed, and overlapped. It was impossible to tell how long they had been walking, or if they had walked at all. Suddenly, the corridor split again, this time into 3 paths, each bathed in a different light. One path glowed with a golden hue, warm and inviting. Another shimmered in icy blue, cold and distant. The last was shadowed in deep black, almost invisible, like a slit in reality itself. Lyra paused. Each path. I think it represents something, she said. A choice. One of hope, one of understanding, one of fear, perhaps. Kale stepped forward toward the golden path. Maybe we should start with hope, he said. His voice sounded stronger than he felt. We need something to guide us. Rina shook her head. Or maybe we must face the darkness first. The horizon seems to feed on fear and doubt. Ignoring it won't make it go away. Lyra studied the paths carefully. We cannot know what is truly ahead. But we move as one. Whatever path we choose, we do it together. They chose the golden path first. Light washed over them, soft and comforting. For a moment, the crew felt like themselves again. Their memories, their fears, their regrets all quieted. The walls pulsed gently, showing visions of moments that had brought them joy, or could have, in another life. Lyra saw herself as a child, running through a meadow under twin suns. She remembered the laughter, the warmth, the feeling of infinite possibility. But as quickly as it appeared, the vision faded, replaced by a fleeting shadow of loss and pain. The horizon reminded her that joy and sorrow were inseparable here. The corridor opened into a vast chamber. Floating in its center was a sphere of light, spinning slowly. Within it, tiny worlds, each containing stars, oceans, forests, and cities. The crew stared in awe. This is incredible, Rina whispered. It's like the horizon is showing us the universe in miniature, or maybe, the universes we could create. Lyra stepped closer. It's alive. It responds to us. But why? What does it want? The sphere pulsed, and the voices of the horizon filled their minds. To understand, you must face what you fear. To become, you must confront what you are. The words were neither threatening nor comforting, they simply were. Lyra felt a chill. She realized that the golden path was not just about hope. It was a test. A test of self-awareness, courage, and unity. Kale touched the sphere lightly. Suddenly, a vision filled his mind. A world where he had failed everyone he loved, where his mistakes had multiplied into disasters. He stumbled back, gasping. Kale! Lyra called, grabbing his arm. You are not your mistakes. This is the horizon. It tests us. You must face it, not be consumed by it. Kale nodded slowly, shaking off the fear. It's showing me what could happen. But maybe I can change it. Maybe we all can. Rina approached the sphere next. Images of worlds where she had been powerless, forgotten, and alone surged through her mind. She felt panic rising, but she forced herself to breathe deeply. This is not real. This is the horizon's reflection of my fear. I am stronger than it. Finally, Lyra touched the sphere. Memories of endless responsibilities, the people she had failed, the lives she had lost, flooded her. Her mind screamed in confusion. Yet beneath the chaos, she found clarity, a single truth. Time is meaningless here. Fear is meaningless. What matters is choice. The sphere brightened, then shattered into millions of tiny lights, scattering through the chamber. The corridor reformed, leading them onward. The horizon was testing them, yes, but it also seemed to respect their courage. Good, Lyra said softly. We've passed the first test. But this is only the beginning. The horizon is infinite, and it is far from done with us. The crew pressed on, stepping into the next unknown, their bond stronger, their minds sharper. Behind them, the chamber of light faded, leaving only the black horizon, silent, waiting, and alive. The corridor stretched on, folding and twisting as if it had no end. Shadows danced along the walls, whispering faintly in voices the crew could almost recognize. Echoes of people from their pasts, both loved and lost. Each whisper tugged at memories they had buried, testing their focus. Keep moving, Lyra said, her voice steady despite the unease crawling through her. The horizon feeds on hesitation. Don't give it a reason to hold you. The crew nodded, their steps synchronized. The further they went, the more the corridor seemed to respond to their thoughts. A flicker of doubt could darken the walls, a surge of hope could brighten them. The black horizon was alive, not just a place, but a presence, aware of everything inside it. Ahead, a figure appeared. It was tall, its form shifting constantly, sometimes human, sometimes something else entirely. Its eyes, or what resembled eyes, glowed softly, observing the crew. I am an echo, the figure said. Its voice was like many voices layered together, both gentle and commanding. I am a fragment of the horizon, a reflection of what you fear, what you hope, and what you might become. Kale swallowed hard. Are you real? I exist where reality bends, the echo replied. Here, all possibilities are real, even those you cannot imagine. You have passed the test of light, but the test of understanding begins now. The echo waved a hand, and suddenly, the corridor fractured into countless mirrors. Each reflected a different version of the crew, versions shaped by choices they had made, or never made. Lyra saw herself as a captain who had abandoned her crew to save herself. Rina saw herself powerless, unable to prevent disaster. Kale saw himself as a betrayer, turning against those he loved. The crew staggered back, overwhelmed. The horizon seemed to hum, vibrating with energy. Do not be afraid of what you see, the echo said. These are not prophecies. They are reflections. The horizon shows you what could be, so you can choose who you will become. Lyra clenched her fists. Then we choose. Not what the horizon wants, but what we want. Together. The mirrors shimmered as each crew member focused on their own truth. Kale saw himself courageously facing impossible odds. Rina saw herself helping others, even when everything seemed lost. Lyra saw herself leading, not as a perfect captain, but as one who learns from every failure. The reflections shifted again, no longer distorted by fear. The corridor reformed into a single path of silver light, leading deeper into the black horizon. Good, said the echo. You understand now. But there is more. Time here has no meaning, and so your past, present, and future will overlap. You must navigate them, or risk being lost forever? The crew pressed forward. Suddenly, the walls rippled like water, and each step felt both fast and slow, like moving through a dream that bends reality itself. Memories from different lives, some personal, some alien, flooded their minds. The horizon seemed to merge their consciousness, weaving them into its vast tapestry. "We have to remember who we are," Liora said urgently. "Not just ourselves, but each other. Our bond is the only anchor here." Rina took her hand. "We're together. That's all that matters." As they moved, the corridor opened onto a vast expanse, a black void dotted with faint, glowing constellations that did not belong to any known universe. Strange forms floated in the distance, islands of light, drifting cities, and structures beyond comprehension. "This is beyond anything we've imagined," Kale said. "It's infinite." "Yes," Liora said softly. "And we are part of it. The horizon is showing us not just what is, but what can be. We must understand it, or be consumed by it." The echo's voice resonated around them one final time. "You have passed the first trials. Ahead lies the crucible of choice. Only by confronting the nature of time itself will you survive, and perhaps transcend." The black horizon pulsed, as if aware of their resolve. And the crew stepped forward into the endless unknown, where every possibility awaited, and where time had no meaning at all. The black void stretched endlessly before the crew, dotted with islands of light and floating structures that defied comprehension. The sense of time remained absent. Moments stretched into eternity, then collapsed into a single instant. Yet, amidst the disorientation, the crew moved with purpose, guided by Liora's steady voice. "This place," Rina whispered, "it's like the universe itself is alive, watching us, shaping everything we do." "Yes," Liora said. "And every step we take matters. The horizon shows not just what is, but what could be. We must stay alert." As they advanced, the void began to twist. Shadows stretched across their path, forming shapes that mirrored the crew's deepest fears. Liora saw visions of the ship falling apart, of her crew lost and adrift. Kale glimpsed moments of failure that had never happened, yet felt utterly real. Rina saw herself alone, abandoned in infinite darkness. The horizon pulsed with a low hum, like a heartbeat. Then a voice echoed, not through sound, but directly in their minds. "Time is a river you cannot follow. Here, it flows in all directions. Choose wisely, or be swept away." Before them, a series of floating arches appeared, each leading to a different reality. One shimmered with light, showing a future where their mission succeeded. Another was twisted and dark, revealing failure, loss, and despair. The last seemed neutral, a place where nothing happened, frozen in stasis. "The horizon is offering us paths," Liora said. "But they are not just destinations, they are tests. Each will challenge who we are." Kale stepped toward the lighted path. "It calls to hope. To everything we want to believe is possible." Rina hesitated at the dark path. "And it calls to fear. To everything we are afraid of becoming." Liora studied both. "We cannot know which path will lead us where. Perhaps the choice is not about success or failure, but about facing what lies within us." They moved together, stepping into the lighted path first. Instantly, the crew felt a rush of memories, some theirs, some shared, some alien. The horizon seemed to blend realities. Moments from their pasts, futures, and possibilities overlapped. Liora saw herself commanding a fleet she had never trained for, fighting battles she had never imagined. Kale saw worlds he could never save. Rina saw lives she might never live. This is overwhelming," Kale said, gripping the walls of the corridor. "It's like living all possibilities at once." "Yes," Liora said. "And the horizon will not stop. We must endure, and we must remember ourselves. Our choices define what remains real." A pulse of energy surged through the corridor. Time folded inward. The crew felt themselves stretch across decades and collapse into moments simultaneously. Memories mixed with visions. Past mistakes, victories, and losses all intertwined. "Hold on to each other," Liora said. "This is what anchors us. Our unity is stronger than the horizon's chaos." The corridor opened onto a vast plain, floating in black emptiness. At its center, a massive sphere of shifting colors hovered. Within it, stars and worlds moved in patterns that defied logic. Liora recognized it, the heart of the black horizon.
"This is it," she whispered.
The center, the source.
The horizon pulsed around them.
The crew could feel its energy pressing in, testing their resolve. To touch the heart would mean understanding the nature of time itself, or losing themselves to its infinite possibilities.
Liora looked at her crew. "We've come this far together.
Now, we decide who we are, and what we will become." And with that, they stepped forward toward the sphere, knowing the black horizon awaited their choice, and that beyond it lay truths no mind had ever grasped. The massive sphere hovered before the crew, its surface swirling with colors that shifted like liquid fire. Within it, stars and galaxies rotated in patterns that defied every law of physics. The air around them vibrated with energy, and the horizon's hum grew louder, filling their minds.
This is the heart," Liora whispered.
"Everything we've experienced, it all comes from here." Rina stepped closer, her eyes wide.
"It's beautiful, but terrifying. It feels like it knows us.
Like it sees every thought, every fear, every desire."
Kale hesitated.
"How do we even begin to understand it?" The sphere pulsed, and suddenly, the crew was surrounded by visions.
Time unraveled around them.
Moments from their pasts, futures, and alternate lives overlapped. Liora saw herself as a child again, then as a general, then as someone who had never existed at all. She saw Kale and Rina in countless versions of themselves, some triumphant, some defeated, some forgotten. A voice resonated, not from the sphere, but inside their minds.
"You stand at the center of all possibility. Here, time has no meaning.
Here, you may become everything, or nothing. Will you take control, or be consumed?" Liora felt a surge of determination.
"We control our path.
Together."
The sphere reacted to her words.
Its surface rippled, revealing 3 portals within its core, one of blazing light, one of shadowed darkness, and one of shifting gray, a place where the two merged. "The horizon is offering us choices," Rina said.
"But these aren't simple paths.
They're tests of who we are, deep inside."
Kale looked at the dark portal.
"The shadow, it could destroy us. Or it could show us truths we are afraid to face."
Liora nodded.
"Then we face it, as we've faced everything else.
Fear, hope, doubt, it all has a purpose. We are not just passing through. We are becoming." They stepped toward the gray portal together.
The sphere pulsed violently, and suddenly, the crew felt themselves stretched across infinite possibilities. Their minds merged with fragments of time, past mistakes, future victories, lives that could have been, and worlds that never existed. "You must confront yourself," the voice echoed. "Only then will you understand the nature of time." Each crew member felt visions intensify.
Kale relived moments where he had failed loved ones. Rina saw herself powerless to stop tragedies.
Liora faced choices she had made that haunted her, mistakes she could not undo. But instead of despair, understanding began to emerge. The horizon was not punishing them. It was revealing the truth. Time was not linear, not fixed.
It was fluid.
Every action, every choice, every thought created ripples across possibilities. "We are not victims here," Liora realized aloud. "We are creators. Every decision matters, because time itself responds to us."
The gray portal pulsed, and the crew stepped through.
Instantly, the chaos of overlapping moments slowed. The swirling galaxies, the visions, the echoes, they merged into a coherent flow. They were no longer scattered across infinite possibilities but focused, present, and aware. The sphere shimmered, acknowledging their resolve. The horizon's hum softened into a gentle rhythm, like a heartbeat synchronized with their own.
Rina smiled faintly.
We did it. We're in control, in a way."
Kale nodded.
"Not just control, understanding. We see time as it really is."
Liora looked at the sphere. "This is just the beginning.
Beyond the black horizon, where time has no meaning, we have a choice, to reshape reality, or to let it remain as it is.
And now, we choose."
The black horizon pulsed one last time, as if awaiting their decision. And the crew, together, stepped forward, ready to face whatever truth lay beyond the heart of time itself. As the crew stepped forward through the gray portal, the black horizon shifted around them.
The void stretched and bent, but this time it responded to their presence.
Their thoughts, fears, and hopes shaped the very fabric of the horizon. Time itself rippled like a pond, reacting to every heartbeat. It's incredible, Rina whispered. We're not just moving through it. We're part of it.
Liora nodded. The horizon is alive.
And now, so are we, in ways we never imagined. But with this understanding comes responsibility.
The crew looked around.
Islands of light floated in the void, structures of impossible geometry hovered, and colors unknown to any human eye swirled around them. Each element seemed to await their command, or their understanding. Kale raised a hand, and a bridge of shimmering energy extended from one floating island to another. It responds to intention, he realized. Whatever we focus on, it appears. Rina reached out toward a cluster of glowing spheres. So this is creation. We can shape what we want, or what we need. Liora's gaze fell on the vast expanse ahead.
Not just what we want. We must shape what is necessary.
The horizon tests us, and now it trusts us. Suddenly, visions appeared before them. Fragments of realities they had glimpsed earlier, both light and dark. Some worlds begged for hope, others for intervention. The crew understood that beyond the black horizon, time had no meaning, but action still mattered. Each choice created ripples that could alter entire universes. This is responsibility beyond anything we've known, Kale said. One wrong thought could, unmake a world.
Perhaps, Liora replied.
Or perhaps nothing is unmade. Maybe everything continues until we consciously shape it. That is the nature of this place. They moved carefully, stepping onto floating islands of light. With every step, the horizon pulsed, acknowledging their presence. Shadows still lingered at the edges, remnants of fear and doubt, but they no longer threatened. They waited, observing. Then a new figure emerged, one unlike the echo or the sphere. It was radiant, appearing as both human and star, light and shadow.
Its voice filled their minds. You have understood the heart. You have faced yourselves. Now you may transcend.
Beyond the black horizon, there is a reality without the constraints of linear time. Will you step forward?
The crew looked at each other.
The weight of infinite possibility pressed on them, but so did a sense of unity and purpose. Liora took a deep breath. We step forward, not as individuals, but as a team. Together, we face the horizon. Together, we decide what comes next. They moved as one toward the radiant figure. With each step, their connection to the black horizon strengthened. Time no longer confused them. Past, present, and future coexisted, but they could navigate it with intention.
The horizon rippled around them.
The void folded, islands merged, and the sphere of the heart expanded, enveloping them in a gentle embrace of light. Visions of countless possibilities appeared, but for the first time, the crew could choose which ones to hold, and which to release. Rina smiled, her fear replaced with understanding. We're ready. Whatever this is, we can face it.
Kale nodded.
We've learned to bend time without losing ourselves. That's power, yes, but also responsibility. Liora looked ahead, toward the radiant figure and the endless horizon beyond. Then let's step forward. Not to conquer, not to escape, but to understand, and to shape what must be shaped. The black horizon pulsed in response, and the crew, united, crossed the final threshold. Beyond it, time had no meaning, but choice, courage, and unity could create worlds. And perhaps, even more, the crew stepped fully into the expanse beyond the black horizon. Light, shadow, and color swirled around them, forming shapes that shifted with their thoughts. The void was no longer threatening. It was alive, aware, and welcoming them as participants, not intruders. It feels like everything, Rina whispered. We can see all of it, touch all of it, yet it doesn't overwhelm us.
Liora nodded. The horizon has tested us. Now it trusts us.
We are no longer just travelers, we are stewards of this place. Before them, the radiant figure expanded, filling the space with light.
You have faced yourselves.
You have understood the nature of time. You have learned that past, present, and future exist together, and that choice defines reality. Now, you may shape what comes next. The crew looked at each other, feeling the weight and the wonder of what lay before them. Worlds hung in suspension around them, each a possibility waiting to be realized.
Kale extended a hand. Then let's do it.
Let's create, not to rule, not to impose, but to heal, to build, to explore. Rina reached out, her fingers touching a cluster of glowing orbs. They responded instantly, expanding into stars, rivers, forests, and cities. "It's beautiful," she said, tears in her eyes. "We can make something new, something better." Lyra stepped forward, feeling the pulse of the horizon in her very being. She focused, and visions of her crew safe, united, and thriving formed around them. Each crew member added their own hopes, their own intentions. Slowly, the void transformed, a reflection of their combined will. "You have chosen wisely," the figure said. "Time has no meaning here, but choice does. You are the creators of what was, what is, and what can be. You are beyond the horizon, and yet part of it." The crew felt themselves expand, their consciousness intertwined with the black horizon. They were no longer just humans drifting through space. They were participants in the flow of existence, capable of shaping realities, exploring worlds, and understanding the infinite. For the first time, Lyra felt truly free. The fears of the past, the doubts of the present, and the uncertainties of the future coexisted but no longer held power over her. She was part of something greater, and yet she remained herself, anchored by the unity of her crew. "Beyond the black horizon," she whispered, "we are more than time. We are possibility."
Rina smiled. "And we are together."
"That's what makes it real." Kale laughed softly, a sound of relief and wonder. "Infinite possibilities, and we get to explore them all." The horizon pulsed gently around them, no longer a force of fear, but a partner in creation. Stars, worlds, and visions swirled in harmony, reflecting the crew's choices, hopes, and courage. They had crossed into the place where time had no meaning, and in doing so, they had discovered the true power within themselves. The ship, the crew, the horizon, all became one, a living tapestry of infinite potential. And as they drifted further into the unknown, Lyra understood that this was not an end, nor a beginning, but a new way of being, beyond fear, beyond time, beyond the black horizon. Here, anything was possible. Here, they were free. And with that realization, the black horizon was no longer a void to fear, it was a universe to embrace.